welcome to Selena's Crafty Lab. Today we're going to talk about sublimation. Now the last couple of times we've been talking about DTF and HTV and how they work. So now we're going to mainly concentrate on sublimation and the products I use, what the mistakes were that I made, because I made a lot of mistakes, and we're going to try to smooth those out for you first. Also, I'm going to explain why I chose to use sublimation on the particular medium that I'm working with. I'm going to also let you know what machines I used, what products I used, and how I perfected my task. So first of all, let's go over onto Canva and we'll set up our project and we'll show you step by step how we go through this. Okay, as you can see, we have lots of pencil case sublimation images that I've already done up to 16, but we are going to do a new design and it's going to be a custom size. I'm going to change it to millimeters, and our first width is going to be 190 millimeters by 110 millimeters high, and create new design. So this is our canvas, and on here we are going to find which element we want to use. I'm going to type up here cute animal and search. Oh, look at this elephant. We're going to use you. I'm going to move you around. Let's just resize you, make you a little bit smaller. Pop you down here and pick another one. Let's have see all. Oh, the kitten. We're going to put the kitten in because you're cute. And, oh yeah, the penguin. The penguin. Oh my gosh, such a cute little penguin. What else? We need another one. The hippo. Yes, hippo. We're going to put you in. They're a bit big, so I'll just resize you, make you fit, get you to the edge, and I'm just going to re-edit you so our gaps are right. 6.4. Yep, that's good. Now we're going to put some writing in. So we'll go to text, and there's so many to pick from. I'm just going to scroll through until I find something. Vintage, I like that. Let's pick on that one. Okay, these are not the words we're going to use, but we're just going to place this here just for overall image, see what it looks like. Yep, I'm pretty happy with the look of that. Now we're going to add a page because we've done this one, and we need to do the back of our little canvas pencil case. Creative sayings. And we'll just scroll through. Going, aha, back to school. Now I like that. Let's click on this one and wait for that to open. And we're going to add this one. Oh, that's cute. I like it. I like that a lot. And the good thing is, look at that. It fits our page perfectly. So let's edit this writing. I'll double click on this. And we're going to change this here to looking forward to new year. Let's make this to A and fix the spelling. Looking forward to a new year. That's better. I like that. Position well, make sure I'm happy. Yep, they look good. Okay. Now we're going to go over here to where it says share. Click on share. And download is the button we're looking for. So I'm going to click this. Now the file is MP4. Well, you don't want that because there is a video in it, but we want JPEG or PNG, but I choose JPEG because I find that's the best one. And I'm going to leave the size. I'm happy with its size, but we're going to turn its quality right the way up to 100. And then we're going to scroll down 2 pages and download. Okay. It's downloaded. Let's open up this folder. Okay, so this is our first one. You can see our measurements here. Now we're going to go insert an image, pencil cases, and we're going to click in the back. And we're going to place that on there, position it roughly. And we kind of put it so that we don't run the risk of it not fitting on our printable area. We're going to print it now and open our Epson ET2810. Which is my Eco Tank. We're going to go to properties, make sure it's on A4 paper and it's in portrait. change it to Epson Matte and High. Then we're going to go down to Print Preview just so we can double check and make sure it's printing in the right direction. And we're going to go to More Options, and because we're sublimating, you need to find this button, Mirror Image. So click on that. So I'm turn this off because I don't need it. So your mirror image is on. Once that is done and you've checked it over, make sure everything is how it should be, we're going to click OK. And then we're going to click OK again, and we're going to let it print. Okay, so now we've got our product that we've just taken out of the printer, and we're going to cut it down to size because we want it to fit on our sublimation material. And this is the material we're using here. We're using a canvas pencil case, and we're just going to sublimate on that. So let's start cutting this down. I'm going to get our piece of canvas, and we're just going to position how much we want it to see, how much writing wise, and I'm thinking about there and there, so I'm just going to get a pencil. I'm just going to do a little mark with my pencil so I can see. Place that on top, see where my writing is going to hit. Okay, so we want to make sure this writing doesn't go up too high or too low. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this quite close to that writing. I can see how far up it needs to go on my, because you've got your little line of your canvas. So I don't really want it to go above that line. I'll place it there, and it looks like that line's in the perfect spot, so that's good. So now we're going to cut that piece off. Let's double check. Make sure we are happy with that. How far across we're going. See our little elephant is quite far over, and our hippo is a bit far away from where we want them to be, so I might move it to there. I want to get fussy, I could get a ruler out, but I'm not going to. Just going to guesstimate it. Okay, and we'll just have another little looky. Okay, so now, because you've got these little margins here, it makes it easier for us to decide where to position our piece. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so that is what that side's going to look like. And then of course we've got this piece here. Now it doesn't quite go to the edges, and that I actually don't want it to go to the edges, so that's fine. So this one here, I'm actually going to cut it exactly on those marks. Now it's cut down to size. We're going to put our piece of fabric down. We're going to test out and make sure we're happy with how that's going to look. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so now we're going to go over to our next step, and that's going to be taking out any moisture that is in our canvas by using our heat press. So I'm just going to use my Cricut Easy Press for this. Okay, so this is my Cricut Easy Press, and this comes with its own stand, you can see, which is perfect for what we're doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on. So now our Cricut is heating up. We want to make sure that our temperature is set to 365 degrees Fahrenheit, and we want our time set to 40 seconds. That's how long we want it to heat for. According to the sublimation settings on Cricut, this is the settings that is recommended for applying sublimation to canvas. Okay, so we are now at temperature. So I'm just going to put this machine to the side. So we're just going to put our canvas down. I'm just going to get my Easy Press, and we're just going to give it a light press because we just want to take that moisture out. Okay, so I've got my lint roller, and you'll see that even though it doesn't look like there's anything on there, you will pick up bits. And if you look, see, there is bits of lint on there. I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, because I want to reuse my parchment paper, I've put down a piece of white printer paper, which doesn't matter, any type of printer paper is fine, and I'm going to take this image here, I'm going to flip it over, we're going to place it how we had in our original setup. Then I've got, this is sublimation tape, it's heat-proof tape, it's perfect for when we're sublimating. You get a piece of that, and I'm just going to stick that onto there. And sometimes I'll actually stick it down to the piece of paper, because what it does is it holds that image flat for when you're sublimating. don't think there's such a thing as too much tape when it comes to sublimating an image, so we're going to place that on there. Now I've learned that applying pressure on a fabric one actually stretches the fibers, and that's when you start having issues with your image shadowing or ghosting, because it's moving, so this piece of paper is moving. So what I do is I actually don't put any pressure on. I simply take my sublimation machine, I place it on top, leave it for a second, press my button, and we just let it do its 40 seconds. We don't get involved at all, just let it go. Okay, and there goes our beep. So now we're just going to lift it up and off. Okay, what I actually did is I took my heat mat away and I took away the butcher's paper, and then I flipped it over onto my bench top, and this actually helps cool it down a little bit, because my bench top is it's a laminate top, but it is nice and cool because we've not had anything on top, and you can feel the cool coming through. So I'm going to flip that over. Now we're going to do the big reveal. I'm going to take off this tape. Sometimes if you're clever with removing it, you can actually reuse your tape, but it is purely up to you whether you're a frivolous reuser like I am. I'd rather not waste it. And I'll try to peel it off and save it sometimes. Oh, that piece doesn't look like it's going to be, oh no, we saved it, that's good. I'm just going to remove this image off and have a look. And there you go. There is the transfer from here onto here. That is our image. And that looks really nice. That has taken perfectly. So we're really happy with that. So now we're going to go on to the next step, which is sublimating on the other side. So we've brought back our mat and our piece of butcher paper, and we're going to now flip our project and put it face down. Now, sometimes the sublimation will transfer onto your butcher's paper. So I actually put a sheet of white paper down, and what did I do with this? This is my piece of paper I was using. I actually put that down underneath because I kind of want to keep reusing my butcher's paper. I don't want to lose that. So I put that down. This is nice and cool, so it's perfect for us putting on our next image. So we're going to flip that over, place it. Make sure we're happy about our placement. You can kind of see my animals through. All right. And then if you were able to resave some of that tape, you can use it again. And now we're going to go and do the exact same thing we just did. Picking up our machine, placing it on, without trying to not move it too much underneath. Then we press our button and we let the machine do the timing. And there's our beep. And so we're just going to lift it straight up and off. Now looking at it, you can see that image has actually come through our printer paper, so you can kind of see what has taken and what hasn't. Okay, and we're going to peel this off now and see how it looks. There you go. No shadowing or anything. There's that side. Neat little back to school wallet. Now I'm going to go grab some that we did have shadowing with, and then I'm going to talk to you how this happened and where I went wrong. Okay, so I've got 3 here that we've sublimated on, and the image has not been overly great. So you can see here on this, and I'll pop in a little video of how I did this one. You'll see how there's blurring on this, like it's not as clear. I would like those lines to be nice and sharp and crisp, and they are not in that image. This side turned out really good. We had no problems there, but this side here we've got blurring. So in that video you'll see that when I put this down, I actually put pressure on my easy press, and when I did that, what happened is it heated up those fibers and it stretched them out with this paper touching. So as it did that, it stretched my ink and like blurred. So you see these lines here, they all started blurring because it stretched it with that pressure. So that was my first mistake. And the same with this one. This side printed nicely, and that's when I just placed the Easy Press on and I didn't mess with it. But with this side, I pushed it down and I put pressure on it, and you see how the colors started blurring and bleeding. So what happened here is we got a real ghosting effect happening, and that was because I had my Easy Press and I was pushing down on it, and you'll see a little video of me doing that and how that made that mistake on there. Now this one here, this was my very first one that I made. I actually used a piece of sublimation paper that I bought online. I'd never used it before and I wanted to try it. I did the same thing when I placed it on, and I put pressure down, and as I did so, I believe what happened is it pressed on the zip and put like a little indentation into my fabric. And so you'll notice there's shadowing here where the color hasn't taken very well, and then also on this side, can you see the ghosting? So look at this guy here, see how he's doubled up? That's that ghosting I'm telling you about. See how we've got doubled imaged? And that's because I applied pressure on my second time, which then moved the fibers. So I have learnt from this. Obviously, be prepared that you're going to have maybe projects that you're going to have to possibly throw away or gift to somebody, or sell at a discounted price because they aren't going to be perfect, but that is part of the process of when you're learning to sublimate. So I'll get the roll of this so you can have a look at what it looks like that I used for making this project as well. Okay, so this is what's left of the roll. When I purchased it, you can see it was a full-size sheet. Sometimes this is a good way of doing sublimation if you want to, but I found this process a little bit pricey. It worked out better for me to actually do the sublimation myself. This particular roll, this one roll here, actually cost me $8. And when you price up how much it costs to make the sublimation image yourself and print it out on sublimation paper, it's actually a lot cheaper. So to do this image, for example, here, it's on one piece of A-sub paper. You work out the cost, it works out to be about 30 cents for me, including the ink to do that. So that is actually cheaper if you make it yourself than if you buy it on the roll. But if you haven't got a sublimation printer, this is also another method that you can do. There are different companies out there that make this product, and that's just the price I paid for this particular one. So I have got leftover. I can use that on another project if I want to. So that's a good thing. But yes, you can see the colors came out lovely and bright. So that's what it looks like on the sheet. And then if you look at him on here, the colors did come out lovely and bright. So I was happy with that. It was just a shame that when I put this together, it didn't quite match up how I wanted it to. I might do another one yet and see what it looks like. In fact, you know what? Let's actually do that. Let's do another one using this, and I'm going to go and get one of these, and we're just going to put one together for you, eh? Okay, so I actually have one left, so that worked out really good. So I'm going to get this and my sheet, and we're just going to, I'm not going to make it go all the way because I did this one, it went all the way to the edges. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to like do a little maybe mini border around it. So I'm just going to cut it out there. So I might just tidy up this edge because it's a bit crooked, so I'll get my let's just measure this again, and you'll see it actually has transfer tape on it because that came with the project. When I purchased it, it came with the transfer tape. I'm presuming this is like a protective layer for when you're pressing, and that's just standard that comes with it. So that's my little machine telling me it's getting hot and it's ready to go. So we're just gonna set ourselves up for that now. Bring open my mat, my butcher's paper, my piece. Now I'm just gonna take the moisture out. So we're gonna do the we're gonna do the 5-second moisture removal. And then I'm going to get my lint roller, make sure there's no lint on there, because when you sublimate it leaves like little blue lines when you have lint on there, and that's something we don't want. So make sure we give it a good rolling. Now I want to make sure it's cool before I place my image on there. So I'm actually going to take my mat away. I'm going to place it directly on my bench top and allow it to cool properly. Because if I go straight into putting this on a hot surface, what's going to happen is this is going to start activating. I don't want to activate this before I've got it positioned. So you want to make sure your product is cooled first before you put the sublimation image on top. Okay, we'll let that happen and then we'll come back. Okay, so that's completely cooled. Now we are going to put our mat back, which is paper, piece of printing paper that I have, and our canvas and our sublimated image. So we're just going to place it on there. What have we got going on? Actually want to make it into a border, so I'm going to cut a little bit more off of that image. I might take it from, where do I want to take it from? I might take a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom. Okay, so I've cut that down to make it fit. It's got a nice little border. Yeah, I think that's a good border. So we're going to flip it over. We're going to place it on our canvas. Get our tape. I didn't save my tape from the last one, so I'm going to get fresh bits of tape. Now, the instructions on this are exactly the same as the instructions on our previous one that we did. So we're just going to pick out our easy press. We're going to place it. I'm not going to apply any pressure, and I'm just going to click the button and let it do its full 40 seconds. Okay, and we're done, and I'm just going to lift straight up and off. But there's our 40 seconds done. So we're going to take away our heat mat, and I don't want to mess around with this one too much. I'm just going to quickly flip it and allow it to cool on my bench before we go peeling it off. Okay, I'm happy with that now. I'm pretty sure it's cooled enough. So we're just going to start peeling this off. As you can see, some of the image from here is actually not transferred onto there. This is where people would probably go and do like a second press to make it transfer, and that's where they just flip it back over, push it down, right, and redo it. Now that's actually going to cause you problems, but for the sake of this video, I'm actually going to show you how that is going to make a mistake for you. So you can see now why you actually have to be prepared to throw away products, because sometimes it will work and sometimes it won't. So we're going to now try doing it again. So I'm actually just going to go straight back in on top. We're going to show you the difference when you just flip it back and you match it up and you think, oh yeah, that's going to work. What is going to happen? Okay, so for sake of this video, let's go and do that and see what happens. So I'm going to pick up my my easy press again, and we're going to place it on, but this time we're going to focus it on that area where it was missing and press the button in the hope that maybe it's going to transfer some of that image for us. Now I am holding it and putting pressure on it this time to see if that's going to make a difference. There's our timer. So let's lift it off, and we're not going to let it cool. We're just going to go straight in and check our image and see if it has worked. And as you can see, it hasn't made much of a difference. It hasn't really added much more into the center. So what I'm getting is maybe doing it on the mat is what is not allowing the image to come through. Somehow we managed to not get ghosting, which I'm surprised about. Normally that does happen. So let's chuck it back down again, back to where it was, and see if we can get that ghosting to happen. And maybe I'll move it around this time, place it, and we're going to move it back and forth. Now this is not recommended when you're sublimating to be moving it back and forth, because often what it will do is it will, like I said, it will ghost that image. It should be long enough. Let's have a look. Did it do what I thought it would do, which is ghosting? Okay, and it did not. I'm actually very, very surprised. Obviously, I've taped this up perfectly on this side and it's not moving, so that's a good thing. We're just going to go back and I might try something different. I'm going to get out my mini press and I'm going to try that and see if that pushes it out. Actually, let's try a cutting board underneath a hard surface and see if that makes a difference, shall we? Right, since we're experimenting, I have brought over a cutting board. This is my cutting board. Just going to slide this off on top. And we're going to try pressing it on a cutting board, whether that makes a difference. I mean, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? So we're going to put this on top again and press. I'm going to press down this time, put a little bit of pressure on it and see if that helps. Alright, 40 seconds on a cutting board. Let's see. Nothing. Did not change that image at all. There is still a lot of shadowing going on where it is actually not coming through. So these are the problems that you may come up with pre-printed products. Sometimes it'll take nicely and sometimes it won't. So let's try, now we've got the cutting board out, let's try something else. I'm going to try my mini press and put pressure in that one point and see if that changes whether the product comes through. Okay, so here we have my Easy Press Mini. Okay, it's got its own little stand. Put this to the side, and we're going to turn it on, and I'm going to set it to, I think we'll do medium. We'll let it heat up to medium, shall we? I'm going to put that to the side. Let that heat just beat. Okay, so let's take it off here, and I'm going to focus my pressure on those areas that... Okay, let's peel this back and have a look. Right, it is starting to work with the pressure from the Easy Press on the areas that we want it to go on. I'm going to keep going and see if we can actually get this to make a mistake. It's not doing it. Okay, we're going to just pull that off now. So here we go. This is the result we've got. It's not bad, actually. I've come back in with my Easy Press and pressed it again, and there's a slight line there, and I think that could just be because I was unable to press hard enough. So if you look at my image, most of this is all gone. There's a few little bits that are still stuck on that probably could have been brighter, like on here. If you look, they could have been a little bit brighter. But that was a fail. We were actually hoping to get shadowing by moving it and putting it back down again, and we didn't get that, and that is very rare. Normally when you take something off and you press it again, you will get shadowing, and that didn't happen. We didn't get the ghosting that I wanted. So let's flip it over and we'll do the other side, and we'll see if using the mini press is going to give us a better image than if we did it with the large press. So let's flip it over. I'm going to get a little piece now. I'm actually running out of my image, so maybe we'll just do like a square and then piece it together. Maybe we'll do something like that, and then we can piece a bit up the top there. Done that, and we're going to try to get this bat in here somehow. I mean, that doesn't match my circles, but does that matter? I mean, that's not bad. And then we'll just cut off that edge piece. Okay, well, I'm actually shocked. All the things I tried to do on camera to show you wouldn't work. They've actually worked. Probably had a few problems here pressing this. I've had to come back and forth a few times, but most of it color-wise has actually taken, which has surprised me. It's worked out a lot better than I expected it would. Why has it worked on this, but yet when we did this one, we got the ghosting? I think the things I did different was I actually taped this really well to my product, and that's what stopped it moving, so we didn't get the ghosting. Whether it is lightly coloured here and the pigmentation's not come through is due to the type of product, because if you look at the piece of paper, some of the colour has come off nicely, and you'll see this here is still quite strong, but it's not actually come sublimated onto here. So is it a product issue? Is it the amount of pressure and heat I've applied? Is that part of the issue? And on this side here, where we kind of patchworked it actually worked really well. You'll notice that there's a bit more colour still on here, especially where the eyes are and the little bat. That probably could have sublimated for longer. There's a little bit of shit. Okay, so there's a small bit of ghosting. Can you see that little bit of ghosting around there? That may have been from putting it back and forth like I did. But because I taped it really well, that has not been a problem. So it hasn't ghosted as badly on this one as it did on this one. So here, when I sublimated it, I pressed it, sorry, realized it hadn't pressed properly. So I actually pulled it back, looked at it, put it back down and pressed it a second time. But I mustn't have put it back correctly because you'll see there's all that ghosting going on. See, we've got our doubles from that ghosting. So that was repositioning it, which we did on camera and it didn't do it this time. So that's a shame. I wasn't able to actually show you, but I'll go through the videos and there may be this video here for you to see me doing that, making the mistakes that I made with this, not pressing it long enough. I think also the difference for why, like if you look at this product, it's got a little bit of a lip on the inside of it. It's like a little lip there. And so maybe the press wasn't able to get up against that, so that's why this is lighter. Maybe if I had stuffed the product first and then pressed it, it might have taken better. So those are all factors to keep in mind when you are doing your sublimation. That's because I think I tried to wrap this as well to do a full pencil case rather than this one, which I did like a little border, and it took better because there's no edge for it to sort of rub against. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this latest episode. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button, and also that crafty little bell so you get reminded of any notifications for any of our latest episodes that will be coming up soon. Thank you for watching Selena's Crafty Lab, and until next time, continue crafting, people. Bye.